This is one of the most famous DMT trip reports ever. In fact, you've probably seen artwork from it because it's from none other than the painter himself, Alex Grey. What's weird about this one is that a couple of days before Alex Grey had this trip, he had a very strange dream. In this dream, he saw a figure hovering above the earth with its top half entering a ball of light. And when he woke up, he wrote it down to basically turn it into a painting. The reason this is important is because a couple of days later, as he's smoking DMT for his very first time, he realized his body was transforming into something else, the same figure that he'd seen in his dream. He watched his body as it became more and more translucent until eventually it just popped into a completely new world, which Alex Grey says was the world of his painting. Just like in the dream, there was a great ball of light, but this one was made up of incredibly complicated jewels and patterns, and he could sense somehow that it had a mind of its own. It was pulling Alex towards it until he was completely submerged inside this white ball, and once inside, he said that he felt an ecstatic melting feeling. What's interesting though is that in the same trip, he would enter a place frequently visited by people who take DMT called the Dome. This dome was made up of faces that merged with one another and countless eyes that stretched far into the distance. Many people, including myself, have seen these eyes, and they tend to feel like they have some sort of hive mind with its own sentience. It's not scary, but it's definitely weirdly real feeling. After this experience, Alex was obviously pretty mystified, but later he would have an ayahuasca trip that took him to a very similar but way more intense place. Again, he saw heads that merged with one another, but these heads felt like they belonged to gods. He said each one had 4 faces and were connected together like columns in a sacred space. As Alex flew around these heads, he noticed that they were made up of countless grids, and inside these grids were spinning entire galaxies. Keep in mind, this isn't just a visual he's having. This felt extremely real to him. Without being told, he could sense an infinite consciousness that was completely interconnected, and even though these gods were anthropomorphized, he said that he realized that they encompassed the entire cosmos. Alex Grey's own consciousness then started to merge with these gods, so that, in his own words, his mind became as vast can be, and that he was one with all of space. When you put it into words, it may not sound that insane, but you have to realize it's way beyond anything we can imagine while we're sober.